Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
High winds and cold temperatures continue to slam the metro and the region, creating dangerous conditions. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jordan Schreier. For a current look at what it's like in the FM area, we continue our team coverage of this winter storm. And we will go live, I believe, to Joshua Pagano. No, we do not have him available. We will be checking in with him a little bit later as to what we can expect. But we do want to talk about some of the roads that are closed. Multiple roads have been closed in the region. I-29 is closed from the South Dakota border to the Canadian border. 19th Avenue North in Fargo is also closed. Multiple rural roads are closed in Minnesota and North Dakota. Now, for the complete list of that, just go to our website, or you can find them all on the VNL app. And here's the reason that many of those roads are closed. To take a look at this situation in Kittson County, Minnesota. Sergeant Jesse Grabo tweeted this, showing a semi flipped in the ditch along Highway 75. He says luckily no one was injured, but it wasn't the only semi crash. Authorities responded to a jackknife semi on I-94 earlier this morning, 15 miles outside of Moorhead. And now take a look at this video. This is also from the Minnesota State Patrol here. This is Highway 9 in Clay County. A truck hauling a trailer slid into the ditch. Authorities say the only reason that we can even see anything in this video is the shelter of trees to the side of the road. And now take a look at this video from earlier this morning as well. This is on the North Dakota side. It's along 40th Avenue north by Riley's Acres. Now that is just north of the metro. Whiteout conditions. Cars can barely see what's in front of them as they drive through this area. And a look at our sky cam right now. It is still pretty bad in the metro. You see it shaking with the wind, but it's not as nasty in town as it is out in the country. Now for a look at what blasted through the region and when it's going to stop, we head on over to Storm Team meteorologist Elisa Green with the very latest on this.
Yeah, things are showing signs of calming down a little bit, but we still are dealing with hazardous conditions and blizzard conditions here in the valley. Here's the latest look at our wind speeds coming in straight out of the north. We're still getting gusts into the 40s, a 43-mile-per-hour gust in Fargo right now. Grand Forks, one area I want to point out. All morning long, we had 50s being reported for gusts and then dropping into the 40s. And currently, no gusts reported in Grand Forks, though a steady speed of 31 will continue to blow that snow around there. So some signs that things are starting to ease up in the northern valley just a little bit. We're looking at visibility still down to 1/4 mile in Fargo, so still getting blizzard conditions, and especially in those open areas outside of town. That's where we're still running into trouble with the ground blizzard going on. So here's a look at our latest alerts. We've had some changes since this morning. I've put a white line separating the expiration times. In the northern valley, we're looking at the blizzard lasting until 2 o'clock, and in the southern valley until 4 o'clock this afternoon, because it's going to take a little while longer for those winds to move out of here. We also have a wind chill warning now in effect for almost everybody in the Red River Valley, and that's because we're seeing some temperatures plummeting, teens below zero in a lot of spots, and our wind chills. This is brutal. In fact, it's downright dangerous with wind chills down into the 40s and 50s below. You don't want to get caught out in this. So another reason to stay home this afternoon and into tonight. We'll talk more about your forecast for the rest of the day and when everything will finally wind down coming up in just a bit.
Yeah, nasty stuff out there. Thank you, Lisa. And we're going to go back now live to Valley News Team's Joshua Pagano. He joins us live from in the metro with a look at what it's currently like out there. Josh, where are you and what's it like?
Jordan, as Lisa just mentioned, it's cold out here. It's a very bitter cold. I'm standing on 52nd. As you can see behind me, you can barely see it. This is right between Timber Park Highway. If you look down is the I-29 entrance and exit, and it's just blowing wind. It was hard for us to even get onto this road just because we saw so much snow that was blowing. And the temperatures, as Lisa said, are continuing to drop. Earlier this morning when I was driving to work, it was not as cold and windy as it is right now. Again, if you're heading out, I would suggest you bundle up, and to wear gloves and wear layers. But again, Jordan, it's getting cold, it's very bitter, and it's just hard to drive, and it's hard to see far out. So I'm going to send it right back to you in the studio where it's warm and toasty. Reporting live in Fargo, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Joshua. And again, in town, it can be kind of deceiving. Out in the country, conditions are much, much worse out there, so no travel advised for eastern North Dakota. Please be safe out there today. New at noon, a Jamestown man is facing charges after police say he held a woman down, punched her in the face, and strangled her before threatening her with a knife. NewsDakota.com says it happened this morning around 3 o'clock. The victim says she and 23-year-old Corwin Deacon got in an argument that got out of hand. When police arrived, they noticed the victim had bruising on her face and strangulation marks on her neck. Deacon is now in jail on domestic violence charges. He'll be in court on March 11th. Also new at noon, the Perham Police Department is warning the community of a homeless sex offender that's living in town. According to the Minnesota Department of Corrections, a 35-year-old Chad McKiska sexually assaulted a teenage girl. A community meeting about McKiska will be held this coming Tuesday, the 18th at 5:30 at the old high school auditorium. High-risk offenders are considered the most likely to reoffend. Authorities in Bemidji, Minnesota are looking for another missing teenager. 13-year-old Osmond Hunt Fairbanks was last seen in the city around 11:20 last night. She's about 5'4", 120 pounds, with brown eyes and long brown hair. Anyone with information about her should call police. Over to national politics, New Hampshire goes down to the wire. Senator Bernie Sanders ekes out a victory with Pete Buttigieg hot on his heels, and Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar with a surprising surge. Kristen Welker is in New Hampshire with more.
Thank you, New Hampshire.
Overnight in New Hampshire, Senator Bernie Sanders narrowly beating former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
This victory here is the beginning of the end for Donald Trump.
The self-proclaimed Democratic socialist fueled by young and liberal voters calling for unity.
No matter who wins, and we certainly hope it's going to be us, we are going to unite together and defeat the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country.
Buttigieg, casting himself as a moderate alternative to Sanders, netted just as many delegates as the Vermont senator, giving him the overall delegate lead in the primary race so far.
And thanks to you, a campaign that some said shouldn't be here at all has shown that we are here to stay.
One of the night's other big winners, Senator Amy Klobuchar, who took third place. She capitalized on the moment by reintroducing herself to the country.
Hello, America. I'm Amy Klobuchar, and I will beat Donald Trump.
And another major New Hampshire headline, the candidates who fell far behind, including longtime national frontrunner Joe Biden and Senator Elizabeth Warren. Both failed to get enough votes to earn any delegates. Before the race was called, Biden, who placed fifth, was on a plane to South Carolina, which will hold the nation's next primary. The former vice president stressing he's still in it because of his support among more diverse voters.
You can't be the Democratic nominee, and you can't win a general election as Democrat unless you have overwhelming support from black and brown voters.
Warren's fourth place finish was also a blow to her campaign, but insisting she'll go on.
Our campaign is built for the long haul. And we are just getting started.
Overshadowing all of it, President Trump, who coasted to victory in the Republican primary. His campaign calling the Democrats' race so far a dumpster fire.
The field is also thinning out for this race. Businessman Andrew Yang and Colorado Senator Michael Bennet both announced they're ending their campaigns.